Hey, what's up? Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a training on how wealth advisors, independent RIAs, financial planners can better leverage video to get results, to help with their marketing, to increase the close rate, more sales, all that good stuff. My name's Aaron. I've been a video marketer for over 7 years, in particular serving the niche of folks in financial services. So I am aware of the compliance challenges. I'm aware of how busy you are, how there's not enough hours in the day by any stretch of the imagination, but also how transformative video can be. And I'll talk in this training a little bit about the results that I have gotten for clients and some of the results that they see. But just so you know that, hey, this is actually worth your time. I actually know what I'm talking about. This is my YouTube plaque for my own channel with over 100,000 subscribers. That is not something that many people get. So I know how to get results with video. I know how to capture attention. I know how to get click and all sorts of good stuff. So we are going to get into that today. We know that the objective is to scale your assets under management, to create additional clients, all sorts of other monetization opportunities for financial advisors out there. From my time in video marketing, you realize what creates more leads for a wealth advisor is when they're publishing to YouTube regularly, when they build an email list partially off of the growth of that YouTube channel, and when they turn on Google local service ads, something we believe everyone should be doing. And if you go to aumgrowthmarketing.com, you can sign up for a call to see if we can potentially help you with those efforts in some way, shape, or form. But if you don't want to work with an agency, you want to do it all yourself, then this is the training that's going to tell you exactly how to do that. In my experience, I hope this isn't offensive, wealth advisors usually aren't good marketers. And the reason for that is many folks either came up at one of the big insurance companies, at a bank, at some of these places where they don't really teach you to market. They teach you to smile and dial. They teach you to network. They teach you to get referrals. And also it's very quantitative. So it's a very, we put this much, this monthly allocation in, we're going to get, this approximate rate of growth on our portfolio, less these fees. We're going to have this much sitting for us at the end at retirement. And here's our plan to distribute that. Wealth advisors are very mathematical. They're they think about the numbers, and they aren't always going to be thinking in terms of story, thinking in terms of persuasion. But it's something you can get better at. It's something that I had to get better at over the last decade or so. And when you build your practice off of those old school sales tactics of the referrals, the relationships, the reputations, or the affiliates, like just buying leads from the annuity website or something like that, it means that your business is fragile. And it's fragile in a way that, if those leads lower in quality, or you're not hitting the pavement, making calls, reaching out with regularity, there's a cap on your growth, and we don't want that cap on our growth. So that's why we think video marketing is particularly effective. But some people hold back because they're worried about compliance. They say, well, it's going to be hard to market because I can't say certain things. It's like, you shouldn't be going out making promises about what the future holds, but there's a lot of education and storytelling and candidly entertaining that you can do with video that's still going to bring people into your orbit that isn't in any way, shape, or form a compliance risk. Our solution is to leverage video to scale all the phrases, the explanations, the research that you're already doing, that you already know works, and leverage that to a greater audience. That can start with organic, that can start with the best practices of YouTube, that can also be an ad spend. We can also be showing our best presentations more broadly to more people. And if you're thinking, well, then everyone's going to take my explanation, my training, and use it for themselves, it's like, well, maybe some of them will. Not everyone's paying attention to you, but man, wouldn't it be nice if more of the retirees in your market, more of the executives in your market knew who you were, recognized your face, had seen your content before they actually hopped on a call with you? We've seen enormous increases in the rates of referrals and new clients closed when our clients create a consistent content and video marketing cadence. We also stress that you use the modern tracking tools. So we can get really granular down to the specific video on the specific platform. So same video, but on LinkedIn versus YouTube. Where did the lead come from? Where did they click? What did they see right before they signed up? Using that intelligence to know which video is more effective for you and which video is less effective. And then if you are using advertising dollars behind these videos, making sure that all of your budget is applied to the videos that work, the videos that get a result. And because we are in an age where video production is not that expensive anymore, right? Well, this isn't going to be some $20,000 shoot with 18 people running around. You could do this with, I'm recording this on my laptop. You could do it with a phone. You could do it with one person and a camera. It means you can iterate and increase the quality of your output. You can do your first 5 videos, throw out the 4 that don't work, tweak the one that does, and very quickly get results and have efficacy in that video, and not be reliant on like, oh, this one single commercial works. That's not the way. That is so old school. The other thing to think about here is that in marketing, you're kind of doing the opposite of what you probably advise your clients to do from an investment standpoint. We know that diversification is king. We know what broad indexes that cover the entire market. The market tends to go up over time. Let's control our fees and let's have a relatively diversified approach. In marketing, it's quite the opposite. If you dribble a little bit everywhere and aren't focused, you're going to get really middling to poor results. But like I said, if we produce 10 videos and we see that one video is outperforming the others, we literally turn all the other videos off and we put all of our advertising dollars behind that top video or 2. And then we try to redo it and tweak it to go even further with the strategy that is most effective. So marketing is much more a game of outliers, whereas investing, most investing approaches suggest that it's really more about that diversification. So that's another frame that we can break. But it's really important overall. You may be skeptical here, like, okay, but like, Aaron, can I do SEO or Google Ads or just buy leads or some of these other things? Well, the statistics are actually staggering, right? 82% of all internet traffic in 2022 was video. Over 2.6 billion people use YouTube every month. Viewers retain more of your marketing message when they see you in video versus other formats. And it's growing, right? There's more and more internet users. This is no longer something just the kids are doing. Across all age groups, hours and hours and hours of day are spent online. My father is 67. He is on YouTube every day. And that's not because of me. He's not watching my stuff. And so this is all going to grow. And if you think that getting into video is daunting or overwhelming, well, man, it's going to be even more competitive 2 years from now. You're making a mistake if you wait to get into online video. I got in a while ago. I wish I'd gotten in sooner. You're going to feel the same way in a couple years. And video is the only medium that allows you to capture body language, tone, and content, right? Can't hear my tone when you're reading my written words. You cannot judge my body language when you listen to me in a podcast and listen to just audio. Because of all this, it lends itself to trust. And I've earned that trust myself. I've had over 12 million views, an enormous amount of watch time. This is now over 100,000 subscribers, so that graphic needs to be updated. But this is something that is every single day a channel reaching. You can see this is a live update. You can see that 41,000 people viewed the channel in a 48-hour period on the right side of the screen. That is all videos that were published months ago, year ago, just passively in the background, collecting more viewers, having them see, do I trust this person? Do I not? And then making a decision about whether to proceed and go into business with me. The same could be happening for you. The same way, a big portfolio, you can just live off the dividends, just live off a very small percentage of it. That's what we're doing with our video strategy. And we've helped hundreds of B2B service providers use video to get more leads. They also increase their sales velocity. They also retain their clients more effectively. So put that all together, and it is a really, really powerful tool, particularly for wealth advisors and financial planners.
The experience with working with Piper was very good in the fact that we started our videography for our company merely for the fact that we wanted to scale conversations. So anytime an advisor on our team had a conversation more than 5 times with a client, Aaron and Hannah gave us the idea, hey, why not make a video of that conversation? That can be set in advance. You can save time in meetings and really just start to scale your time. So what started with that really did become that, but it also turned into a great social media presence where now we're posting almost every day across social media channels and using content, both the new that's created and some tidbits that's recycled just to stay relevant. And we found this has increased our referrals that come in the door, not doing anything differently as a firm, but just having the presence on social media has really raised the awareness. And the more conversations our clients have, when they're at dinner with their families or friends or neighbors, the more likely we are to come up. And also the more expertise that we show in an educational format, the more likely referrals are going to come through the door. So what started out as just scaling conversations has now turned to essentially free marketing and free education that we give away that comes back tenfold in the form of referrals and brand recognition.
So that's a testimonial. If you're interested right now, maybe not necessarily getting into business, but wanting to learn more about this stuff, you can sign up for AUM Growth Weekly, free insights every single week on digital marketing. I guarantee the actionable stuff we lay out there will grow your firm and your assets under management. But really, we're going to be covering today how wealth advisors should think about video, the common mistakes to avoid, and how to get started. We're going to go really tactical, really easy to implement here. So we got an exclusive offer at the end that explodes in 24 hours. So make sure you stick to the end. And if you got questions, you can drop them in the chat. We will try to address those. So video marketing. Video is our biological preference. And like I said before, you've got body language, you've got tone, you've got the actual content of what someone says, but really like seeing someone, like I'll stop sharing here for a sec. Seeing someone is how we actually make a judgment about them, right? Like you are making decisions and judgments about me by my eye contact, by the clothes that I chose to wear today, by my background. Every single thing is helping to assemble an idea of who I am, what I'm about, and whether or not to be taken seriously or to, scroll on to something else, right? And so that is why you have an insane advantage by being willing to do that. If you believe in the service that you provide your clients, if you believe in your capabilities and what your offering is, that will come through in video. People will pick up on that confidence, on that belief, on whether or not they like the way you go about doing what you do. And so if that's you, you should be getting into video. And if you aren't someone who believes that stuff, maybe you need to switch industries here, because the people that do believe are going to be able to leverage this to their advantage. It's part of the reason I got so radicalized by video, because this is really going to separate the wheat from the chaff. This is obvious stuff, right? If you were taking a remote call with a client, would you prefer they have their video on or off, right? It's like not even a question. What's better? We think about optimizing video in each stage of the funnel. We think about it at awareness stage, which is going to be your general, here's general problems that we solve for our general ideal audience member. Hopefully you have that clearly defined, whether that's business owners or retirees or some other slice of the market. In this case, this video is very clearly for wealth advisors. Every single stage we've been using language that keys, hey, we help wealth managers and financial advisors. We're not here to help Joe the plumber do his video marketing. We'll make a referral, right? And so that's the awareness stage. The consideration stage is when someone has then started to opt in and wants to kind of sink their teeth into the offering more. So that could be about, maybe a more nuanced explanation of how you manage a portfolio on behalf of a client, or more about how long you've been in the business and the things that you've learned along the way. That could potentially be awareness stage too, but it's really for someone who's already opted in to some degree, and now you kind of need to do that nurturing. And you're probably very used to doing that on calls, right? On the first call, get to know you, absorb information. Second call, make a recommendation, close the business. Think about, between that first and second call, a video that you could send that just helps them to further consider, further appreciate, potentially, moving forward and doing business with you on that final instance. And then finally, our decision stage content. This is, you can't necessarily do testimonials in the financial services industry, but this is like exactly what the offering is, exactly how it works, exactly what the benefits are. So this could be a personalized video breaking down the plan sent to the client. And you don't need to do any sort of crazy production value here, but they feel like you've really spent the time to make something just for them and have that experience of personalization. Retain, we love in terms of market updates. So we got our clients in, we got those assets under management, we want to keep them around. How do we let them know, hey, this is the the changes to 401k and Roth contributions this year. Here's how we're optimizing taxes. Here's what we're thinking about. Hey, there was just this big correction in the market. Let's not panic. Remember our strategy. Onwards we go. All of these can be a huge boon to a business and scaling those assets under management. One of the mistakes that we've seen people they should avoid is creating this big ensemble cast. They're like, hey, I want my junior advisors to just service all these clients. I don't really want to be involved. And the junior advisors need led. Eventually, some of them may have the talent and the desire for it, but it's really got to be the central voices of the firm who the clients have the established relationship with, who have the most experience actually doing this wealth management and financial planning, who are driving the content, driving the storytelling that the clients are seeing. Avoid just being like, I'm going to delegate this to like the junior advisor because they're young and social media savvy. Do not start there. That's something to evolve and grow into. The second thing you need to worry about is the audio. So everyone's like, well, the video is really important, but you need to have a decent mic and you need to be in a quiet environment when you're recording, because if you're in a room with really high ceilings or there's like something humming in the background, it degrades the sense of professionalism that one has when you're on video. So we need to make sure that our audio is well taken care of. The other mistake that we see people making is skipping YouTube. They're like, I'm just going to do LinkedIn, or I'm going to like focus on Instagram or something like that. I promise you, high intent searchers are much more likely to be on YouTube than most of the other platforms. And it also shouldn't just be an advertising strategy. There should be an organic strategy there. In addition to there's being a huge audience on YouTube, the other thing that we love is the ability to actually granularly evaluate the video that we produced. So this is something called an average view duration graph. And what it's showing is where the viewership of the audience drops throughout the course of the video. So this is a 15-minute and 15-second video that we made. And you can see that there's these different drops and spikes. A big drop in the first 15 seconds, another drop at 36 seconds. That's people in the first minute of the video saying, you know what, this actually isn't for me. I'm actually not interested. I'm going to move on to some other piece of content or some other thing I need to do. Oh, a little bump at 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I think, remember in this video, it was a really interesting graph that we put on screen. So people actually jumped back and rewatched that section because it was interesting. But think about that degree of granularity. It's like if someone could record you taking a client through a presentation and then telling you with data where they were zoned in and where they started to zone out. I'm sure you have an intuitive sense for this from having taken meetings and done it for a while, but that's why YouTube's so special. It tells you granularly it tells you at a granular level exactly where interest waxes and wanes and allows you to get better and do that iteration. Another mistake that we see advisors making is doing multi-topic videos. So doing videos where you try to like talk about 3 different things at once. The better strategy is to just make it about one single thing. We're talking about just mega backdoor Roth IRAs. We're talking about just the retirement plan for this one company and how to optimize it. And that means that when someone's searching for specifically that question, you're giving them exactly the answer. But it also, if you think in terms of that average view duration, it makes sure that we're not getting halfway through the video and then like changing topics like, oh, I thought I was here for this, but now you're talking about that. It makes it much easier for a audience member, a viewer, to make sense of and continue to pay attention to. The last mistake that's most common is jumping right into doing advertising with video. Folks that have not seen themselves on video, studied average view duration graphs, practiced, iterated on content, brainstormed content, they go right into running ads with videos that they shot. And then it's like, you don't even know what the issue is. Is it that we bought the wrong media and our ad buying strategy was wrong, or our creative wasn't very good? You don't even know what the problem is if those ads don't work. Plus, as soon as you spend that ad money, it's gone. It's not coming back. But if you can make a few videos, follow the iterative approach and improve, then what you're going to do by the time you're going to run ads, you've maybe done 2, 3, 4 sets of videos. You've iterated on your approach. You're going to be seismically 100, 200% better by the time you're actually shooting ads And that's then going to lead to the ads performing better because you're more comfortable on camera. You've seen yourself. Oh, I don't like that shirt. Oh, my tone, my tone was a little flat. My inflection was off. All these little things that we very quickly improve upon because it's still body language. It's still natural being on camera, but you just get better at figuring out, oh, I'm going to just massage it a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable with myself before I'm actually recording an ad. So don't start with ads. Just make some regular old LinkedIn, YouTube organic content, move on from there. How to get started. You want to start off by brainstorming your hits, the stories you always tell, the analogies that you always use, the metaphors that are most popular, and you want to get those onto camera. You already know they work. They've been working. They've been keeping you in business for a while. Just record them and then distribute them more widely so they can do even more work for you. Second, you need minimum viable gear. This could literally be a $12 little tripod stand, a smartphone, and I'm using a light right now to just make sure that I'm decently illuminated for this recording. That's enough. You get you can add mics and all sorts of other stuff as time goes on, but you just need the minimum viable gear and you need to go. In no world is a better camera going to make up for the fact that it's a bad story and you weren't focused and you jumped around and you had these other issues with the video. Just practice the general recording and publishing first. And then finally, be in the mindset of iteration. We live in a world where all of these platforms are algorithmically driven. The content that shows up, unless you're saying like immoral, disgusting stuff, which you're not because you're talking about your business and financial planning, there's no penalty to the first video not being that good. Unless you literally just actively make a fool of yourself, which you're not going to do because you're watching something like this and you're mindful and you're thoughtful. Just plan to iterate. The first one is going to be the worst one. I'm going to get a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better until you seem like a natural on camera. I have, I talked about earlier, my YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers and an enormous, millions and millions of views. I used to struggle to get a complete sentence out when being recorded. I had one recording, I was saying a sentence at a time and I sweat through my shirt. No sweat today. I don't know if you guys can see that. No sweat today, right? Because I've been doing this for a long time and it becomes very natural and it becomes very straightforward. And it becomes very straightforward how to tell a story, how to, position your body language and not be self-conscious because you're thinking about yourself being recording. So plan to iterate. Some of these ideas for what the actual content should be can be a little daunting for folks. Like I said, play your hits. What are the most common questions that you get asked? What are the selling points that you repeat over and over and over again? What are your strongest lines that you always, gets a smile crack from the audience? And trot those out. The whole idea, the way to think about media that's less daunting is it's just the replication of man. That's actually the origin of the word media is about man, but, but man numerous times. Another friend of mine calls it, having a bunch of thin clones out there. And if you have a bunch of thin clones that are just giving your sales pitch, that are just getting the word out, that's what I'm doing. Meta strategy here with this webinar, right? Most of you are going to watch this, never become a client, and just walk off with the information. A few folks are going to watch this and be like, hey, this person really knows what they're talking about. And I think I want to see if I want to do business with them. I'm going to go take a sales call with AUM Growth Marketing. And I probably recorded this weeks ago, months ago, years ago, and yet it's still doing that work for me. So that's how you need to think about these key points that you're trotting out there. Is there a pitch that you just make over and over and over again? Record it, get it up, let it work on your behalf and be that thin clone. I talked earlier about the minimum viable gear. A phone is fine. You can throw a ring light on there. You can have a simple mic. Don't worry about a DSLR camera, all that other stuff. And then just iterate until you're way better. Speed to implement is one of my personal values. How quickly can you learn something and put it into practice? You could do this by the end of the week. You could record something today and get it out. And it will be one of the worst things that you've done, but it's something with which you can stand on and improve for the week ahead. I've seen this. I've personally landed. I've seen this and personally scaled to enormous heights from a video marketing perspective using the principles that I've outlined today. I've taught dozens and dozens and dozens of people to do this for themselves. I have assisted hundreds of clients in doing it. It works. I promise. I'm absolutely sure of it. If you need help, we can help with on-demand video editing. We can do live production in your office. we can also help you with some of these strategies. The special exploding offer is that if you fill out a brief questionnaire that is in the description for this video, you'll get a custom video marketing game plan. We'll walk you through it. We'll walk you through the implementation on a call so that you know exactly what you want to do. You can take that and do it yourself, or we can help you do that. So if that's of interest to you, check out the link in the description below. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.